severe inflation, gasoline prices through the roof. The cost of household items and food is incredibly high. What does this have to do with the end times? Well, let me explain. No one knows when Jesus is coming back, but he did say that end time events would be like birth pains coming on a woman. They might not be very frequent and intense at first, but they will occur more and more often and be more and more intense. And I believe that's what's happening with the economic environment in the world. Now, let me explain. We're still living in the church age right now. The rapture hasn't happened, but it could take place at any second. And once it does, those dark judgments, those events of the tribulation will take place. But those events are so big, so world-changing, that we see shadows of that environment coming into our world even now, as God allows the world stage to be set for the tribulation. Now, when we look at the tribulation, it begins with the 7 seals of God's judgment. We have the first seal of his judgment is the rider on the white horse, which is the Antichrist, who will fake peace. He'll say that he's coming to bring the world together and solve all of our problems. But right on his heels comes the rider on the red horse, which is the rider of death. He takes peace from the world. People begin to kill each other. And we see that murderous, wicked spirit in the world even now. And then the third rider is the one on the black horse, which is famine and inflation. The Bible tells us in particular in Revelation 6:6 that it will be 2 pounds of wheat for a day's wages and 6 pounds of barley for a day's wages. That means that a person would have to work one entire day just to have enough to eat for one day, for one person only. In biblical times, these prices were about 8 to 16 times higher than normal. So yes, I believe God is showing us that the stage is being set for the end time, because super high inflation and famine would be a perfect setup for the Antichrist to have a controlled economy and enforce the mark of the beast during the tribulation. But there's a promise for you if you are a Christian. Not only will we be raptured out before the tribulation, but even while we live under the shadows, the Bible tells us that God's divine power has granted to us all things that pertain to life and godliness. In other words, until the Lord returns, God is going to provide everything we need to stay close to him, be who we're supposed to be, and have everything we need to live, including food.